Welcome to the Daily Stoic Dose. Before starting this video, make sure please subscribe, like and share this video to reach out most authentic Stoic content. Need your support, thanks. Let's begin. The illusion most men fall for. Let's be brutally honest. Most men today confuse attention for affection. A simple "I miss you" text arrives on their phone, and suddenly their hearts start building castles in the air. They think it means forever. But here's the Stoic truth: words are the cheapest currency in the market of emotions. They cost nothing, they can be copied, pasted, and recycled without meaning a thing. What truly defines love is not what a woman says, but what she quietly does. Her consistency, her energy, her patience, those are the real indicators, because anyone can post a quote about loyalty, but very few can live it when things get hard, when you're not around, when emotions are tested in silence. Today, we're going to uncover 6 things a woman only does when her heart is fully invested, not when she's bored, not when she's lonely, but when she's truly, deeply, unshakably in love with you. Once you understand these, brother, you'll stop falling for surface-level affection and start recognizing soul-level connection. 1. She nurtures you without expectation. When a woman's heart truly opens, something inside her changes. It's not neediness, it's instinct. She becomes naturally nurturing, not because she wants to impress you, but because her soul feels aligned with your peace. She starts noticing the smallest things, the tension behind your smile, the tired look in your eyes, the silence that hides your stress. She'll bring you a glass of water when you didn't even ask. She'll check if you ate, not to act like your mother, but because she's emotionally invested in your stability. See, brother, love isn't proven in grand gestures, it's proven in those subtle moments when she chooses your comfort over her convenience. She'll listen when you speak, truly listen, not just wait for her turn to talk. She'll sense when you're off balance and find quiet ways to ground you again, maybe through words, maybe through touch, maybe just through presence. And this care, this invisible devotion, is something she only gives when she feels safe with you. She doesn't offer that energy to men she's unsure about. She doesn't break her rhythm for someone who might disappear tomorrow. Her nurturing is sacred. It's the deepest language of feminine love, one that doesn't speak, but heals. So when you find a woman who notices your silence more than your words, who worries about your peace more than her image, know this: she's not playing a role, she's anchoring her heart to yours. And when a woman's care becomes instinctive, not transactional, that's not just affection, that's devotion. 2. She protects your name in your absence. You want to know how much a woman truly respects you? Don't look at how she acts in your presence. Watch how she defends your name when you're not in the room. When she loves you, she becomes your silent guardian. If someone mocks your dreams, she'll stop them. If someone gossips about your flaws, she won't laugh along, she'll cut it off, respectfully, but firmly. That's because in her mind, your name is tied to her integrity. She protects it like it's her own. Understand this: loyalty doesn't live in public displays or social media posts. It lives in quiet rooms, behind closed doors, in conversations where you'll never be mentioned directly, but she'll still defend you. A woman who loves you won't let others plant seeds of doubt in her heart about you. She won't allow disrespect to go unchecked, not because she's blind to your flaws, but because she honors your humanity. That kind of loyalty isn't emotional. It's spiritual. It's a reflection of her own values, her moral depth. And here's the painful truth most men ignore: if she won't defend you when you're not there, she doesn't deserve you when you are. So when you find a woman who stands up for your name even when it's inconvenient, keep her close, because that's not just love, that's rare moral strength. And in this era of disposable loyalty, that's gold. 3. She becomes emotionally loyal before the label. Labels are easy. Anyone can call you my person, my man, my love. But those words mean nothing until her choices reflect them. Real love doesn't wait for status updates, it acts before them. When a woman's heart belongs to you, she starts closing emotional doors, not because you demanded it, but because she wants to. The late-night replies to random guys, they stop. The attention-seeking online behavior, it fades. She becomes peaceful, grounded. She's not chasing attention anymore, because your presence gives her validation that no audience can replace. That's what emotional loyalty looks like. She's still free, but her freedom is guided by awareness. She guards her connection with you as something sacred, and she does it naturally. Understand, brother, Emotional loyalty isn't about control or restrictions, it's about alignment. When a woman has chosen you with her heart, she doesn't need to prove it every day, you'll just feel it, in her energy, her consistency, her boundaries. And that's what makes her rare. You see, the modern world glorifies options, but a woman in love isn't interested in having options, she's interested in depth, in peace, in the kind of safety that only a man with emotional discipline can create. So if you notice her gradually moving away from attention, drama, and external noise, not because you asked her to, but because she wants to, that's her way of saying, "I've already chosen you." That's the kind of loyalty that doesn't need a title, it's already written in her behavior. 4. She aligns with your world without losing hers. Here's where real connection separates from fantasy. When a woman truly believes in you, she doesn't try to take over your path, she learns your rhythm, she understands your grind, your silence, your purpose. She's not threatened by your solitude, she respects it, because she knows that a strong man needs time in his cave, not to escape love, but to sharpen it. She studies your world not to control it, but to complement it. If you're busy chasing a dream, she doesn't demand constant attention, she adjusts. If you're fighting a personal war, she doesn't guilt-trip you, she supports quietly. That doesn't mean she becomes invisible. No. A woman in love doesn't dissolve into your life, she balances it, she maintains her own world, her passions, her peace, her identity, because real love isn't two halves merging into one, it's two wholes walking in alignment. That's why her presence feels like harmony, not chaos. You don't lose your edge around her, you sharpen it. You don't feel drained, you feel seen. This kind of woman doesn't suffocate your masculinity, she strengthens it. She doesn't want to control your life, she wants to understand your mission and grow beside it. And brother, when you meet a woman like that, one who respects your independence while offering her companionship, you've met a rare kind of feminine power. That's not submission, that's synchronization, that's love without ego, that's alignment without control, and it's the most peaceful kind of love you'll ever know. 5. She sees your darkness, and doesn't run. Let's talk about something most men are too afraid to test. Show a woman your light, and she'll smile. Show her your shadow, and you'll know the truth. Every man carries darkness, not evil, darkness, the nights of doubt, the quiet breakdowns, the pain behind a calm face, and most women love the idea of a strong man, until they see what strength costs. The woman who truly loves you will not flinch when your confidence cracks, she'll stay when your voice trembles, she'll look at you, not with pity, but with understanding, because to her, your vulnerability isn't weakness, it's proof of authenticity. When she sees you at your lowest, not the man the world claps for, but the man who quietly bleeds, she doesn't withdraw, she leans in, she listens when there are no words left. She sits in your silence, unbothered by its weight. That's how you know her love is real. She doesn't need perfection to stay, she needs truth. She won't weaponize your honesty later, she won't repeat what you confessed in anger, she protects the space where your soul rests. Even when it's messy, understand something, brother, a woman's love is tested not when you're winning, but when you're wounded. The one who stays through your storms is the one who deserves to stand beside your sunlight. Real love doesn't worship your mask, it respects your scars, and when she traces them with compassion instead of judgment, she becomes more than a lover, she becomes your mirror, the reflection that reminds you. Even warriors need warmth. 6. She chooses you every day. Love doesn't fade overnight, it dies slowly, from neglect, from laziness, from forgetting to choose. That's why the rarest form of love isn't loud, it's repetitive. A woman who truly loves you will keep showing up, not dramatically, but consistently. In a world obsessed with novelty, her devotion becomes sacred routine. She texts good morning not out of habit, but because she genuinely wants to be the first piece in your day. She checks on you during the grind, not to interrupt, but to remind you that someone still sees the man behind the mission. She laughs at the same jokes, remembers the little details you mentioned months ago, and finds calm in the simple presence of you breathing beside her. That's what real love looks like, steady, grounded, intentional. It's not fireworks, it's the flame that refuses to die out. She's not addicted to drama, she's addicted to peace, because peace is what she finds in your energy. So she'll guard that bond like something sacred, she'll protect it from unnecessary arguments, from pride, from ego. She won't threaten to leave every time things get heavy, she'll stand firm. Because she knows what you both built wasn't luck, it was choice. Every day, she chooses to stay, even when it's hard, even when life tests the bond, and that, brother, is love in its most stoic form, unchanging, deliberate, and calm. 7. She respects your purpose more than her preferences. When a woman truly loves you, she doesn't compete with your calling, she understands it's part of who you are. There will be nights when you're distant, lost in thought, focused on building something only you can see. She doesn't guilt you for that, she admires it, because she knows, a man without a mission is a man who drifts, and she didn't fall for your comfort, she fell for your direction. She may miss you, but she won't clip your wings to keep you near, she'll wait, not passively, but with quiet pride, because she's not afraid of your greatness, she's inspired by it. And here's the paradox, the more she honors your purpose, the more you'll want to return to her. Because real men don't crave escape, they crave home, and when your purpose and your woman align instead of collide, peace becomes your default. So when she lets you chase your vision without resentment, brother, she's not losing you, she's empowering you, and that kind of support, you'll remember forever. 8. She silently mirrors your energy. Love isn't always spoken, it's felt in the rhythm between two souls. Watch closely, and you'll see how a woman's energy often mirrors yours. When you move with calmness, she relaxes. When you lead with chaos, she reacts. When you operate with trust, she blooms. A woman in love reflects the emotional tone you bring into her world. That's why a stoic man doesn't panic when she tests his patience. He holds his frame, because his peace becomes her mirror, and his discipline becomes her desire. If you stay grounded, she feels safe. If you become erratic, she feels threatened. That's how deep the connection runs. So, when she starts reflecting your peace back to you, through her softness, her patience, her laughter, understand, that's not coincidence, that's energetic alignment. You've given her the stability to return love in its purest form, without fear. That's what the Stoics meant when they said, control yourself, and you control your world. Because when you master your emotions, you invite hers to feel safe within your presence, and safety, brother, is the deepest form of attraction. 9. She turns your silence into connection. Most men think they need to talk constantly to keep love alive, but the right woman understands that silence isn't absence, it's presence in its rawest form. When she's with you, and the room goes quiet, she doesn't rush to fill the air, she feels you, your breathing, your stillness, your calm. She'll sit beside you for an hour, doing nothing, and still feel closer than any conversation could make her. Because love, when real, doesn't always speak, it simply exists, and that's how you know she's emotionally mature. She doesn't need constant reassurance to know she's valued. Your presence is enough, your calm is enough, your silence is safety. That's what separates shallow attachment from deep connection. When two people can sit in silence and feel understood, that's intimacy the world can't define. 10. She becomes your anchor. Every strong man eventually faces storms. Life will test your patience, your resilience, your direction, and when those storms come, watch who stands beside you, and who disappears. The woman who truly loves you doesn't get swept away by the chaos, she becomes your anchor, calm, grounding, unshakable. She'll remind you who you are when you start to forget, she'll pull you back to center when your mind spirals, she won't panic when you fall. She'll extend her hand, not to save you, but to remind you you're not alone. That's love, not fireworks, not fairy tales, just quiet loyalty, steady presence, and unspoken understanding. When you have that, you don't need grand declarations. You already know. So, brother, if you found a woman who loves you in silence, nurtures you without reason, defends you without reward, and chooses you without drama, understand what you hold. That's not common. That's rare, that's sacred. Final reflection, in this modern world, love has become performance. People want to be seen loving, not to actually love. But real love, the kind that endures, happens quietly. It's not in the texts or captions, it's in the moments nobody sees, the prayers she says for you when you're asleep, the small adjustments she makes to make your life easier, the way she looks at you when you're not looking. That's where love hides, in silence. And if you've seen even one of these signs, brother, don't question it to death, just reciprocate with presence, respect, and masculine steadiness, because that's what keeps love alive, not effort alone, but awareness. the Stoics taught that we don't control others, only ourselves, so, control your energy, lead with calm, appreciate what's real, and when you find peace in both solitude and partnership, you've already mastered the art of love. Closing message: if this message spoke to you, if you recognized something in these words, don't just scroll, subscribe to the Daily Stoic Dose. Here, we don't chase attention, we build men who understand themselves, respect love, and move with quiet power. Drop the word anchor in the comments if you believe real love doesn't drift, it grounds, because when a woman truly loves you, she doesn't pull you away from your path, she holds you steady as you walk it, and that, brother, is the rarest connection of all: silent, steady, stoic.